It is the Friday edition of the Sports Cage. Barney Shynkaruk, Sharky, on the stream. He gave you the thumbs up. There he is in his black cardigan.
New cardigan today.
We are live at the Brandt Centre, a place that is known for their cardigans when curling is in town, for sure.
Yeah.
We are here because the Regina Pats take on the Wenatchee Wild this evening, 7 p.m. puck drop.
Where is Wenatchee?
It's
besides Washington,
south of the border.
Besides Washington, you got anything more specific?
Colson and Curtis are probably pulling it up on a map.
Thank you, Colson and Curtis.
Studio. It's actually a very nice area.
Really?
I've seen some pictures, and then I heard an interview last year with some kids that were playing there. Like the golf, they got there and they where they weren't sure about the golf courses and stuff, and I think they got traded from like Brandon
to Wenatchee.
Yeah, and it was like nice hills and
Yeah,
it's like
a little different. Yeah.
So we'll geographically update you on where Wenatchee is here in a moment.
Swift current to Portland, quite a trade. Yeah.
As for the show for 3 hours, been waiting to talk to this guy.
3 hours of entertainment, quality entertainment,
good clean fun.
Yep,
as they say. I've been waiting to talk to this guy for a good week with all the free agency signings and alleged signings and tampering windows and tampering everything.
We have a legal tampering window, so just explore that. And then
I just like I said last week, it sounds badass. I love it. Tampering window. Get Sean Lemon to do everything, voice everything when it comes to the tampering window. Did you hear that yesterday?
No.
He got he's suspended for gambling.
That's
on the
right.
League.
Now what's he doing?
And then if he ever comes back, he's got 2 games to serve for using an illegal substance.
From when he was betting on himself?
When he was playing. Well, it could have been when he was betting. It's a weight loss supplement, so I think it'd be more related to the football than the gambling side of things.
Do you think he was taking that as an enhancement to his play, or maybe to...
I think he was taking it to lose weight.
Yeah, but I mean, defensive linemen don't necessarily want to be thinner.
Maybe had an eating problem for a bit there.
Let's ask Luc about that. Yeah.
Luc Mullinder is coming on. We will talk lots of CFL.
Love it.
With Luc. We're going to run down the local hockey situation in the area tonight. There is a lot, along with the Pats game here tonight. There's SJHL, there's Junior B, there's AAA female, actually not a bad AAA midget game down the road, and then a ton of senior. It's that time of the year.
It is the time of year. Yeah.
Provincials and league and
playoffs and everything else.
There's guys probably leaving town right now to get somewhere to play.
3 o'clock
drive, 2 hour drive. Grab Timmy's on the way out.
They wouldn't leave till 4.
Throw in a dinger. Play some country music.
4
listen
o'clock.
to the Sports Cage.
Maybe grab a hamburger or something on the way. Yeah.
No,
sub.
No, they eat better than that nowadays. Even the senior guys.
Wow.
Some of them. So and then hour 2, it's kind of sprinkled in with Regina Pats. The Indigenous Athlete Showcase for Freeze Tallman Lumber. Going to be joined live here by Connor Bear from the Regina Pats. It is Indigenous night here at
got special jerseys and everything.
Yeah,
I saw the preview. They look fantastic.
Really nice jersey. So Connor Bear is going to join us. You know, he rides bulls
in his spare time.
He's a bull rider. We're going to have to talk about riding bulls. And then when I talked to him when he first got traded here, we did talk about
riding bulls.
We talked about senior hockey too. And
the
Round Lake Bears open up
because he's
tomorrow.
from Ochap. Yeah,
the Round Lake Bears open up tomorrow against
Balcarres Broncos.
The Balcarres Broncs.
Yeah,
never say Broncos. They get so mad. It's Broncs.
When I was there, we were the Broncos.
When they did the change it. You guys claimed bankruptcy and then you had to change the name.
I was 9, 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also in hour 2, John Babcock from the Regina Pats.
Big announcement for him.
Just decided he's going to take his talents to the NCAA next year. Really cool. And it all started with Braxton Whitehead from the Regina Pats. So we'll talk to Babcock about that. Hour 3, Farhan Lalji for the Cooperators. He is in the mixer.
He's in New Orleans.
He's in the mixer down there. We're talking lots of Super Bowl.
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
No, I have not.
Pretty cool place.
It's not really on my bucket list either. Like there's a lot of places. I wouldn't say a lot. There are a number of places that I would rather go.
It's really unique from a music, food. Like you don't have to be there for Mardi Gras. You don't have to be there for a Super Bowl. Like it's going on all the time. It's pretty cool.
Not a gumbo guy, not a crawfish guy, not a fish guy.
Alligator? Alligator?
Definitely not an alligator guy.
You don't know yet. Well, that's right, because you're really fussy.
I can't even eat the sausage that you and your boys make. That you go hunting weird stuff around here.
It's not weird stuff. They're things that are running around the prairies, and we knock them down, make them into sausage.
Maybe one day I'll get to New Orleans. But yeah, there's a number of places.
It's a good stop
on the list that I'd rather go. So full 3 hours for you today
of jam-packed entertainment.
CNC got things buttoned up back at the studio.
I have to start off with an apology to them.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you don't remember, the last time I was on, I brought cookies. And I promised them my wife's homemade oatmeal, or eat more cookies.
Talk those up.
Yeah, and I didn't do it today.
Didn't do it.
Coach, you got to make those cookies when I get home.
We were at the Brandt Centre, so I don't know how you would have got it to them anyway.
I know, so it's kind of, I shouldn't even have brought it up.
You shouldn't have just said, hey, I had those cookies.
I'm a loser, and I got to bring cookies next week.
Yeah. Oh, maybe something else as well.
The pheasant pot pie that you won't eat.
Do not bring that anywhere near the studio, anywhere near us. Luc Mullinder is standing by. Let's take a quick break, and then we come back. We're going to have a full Luc for like 10, 15 minutes.
Love it.
Talking CFL. It is the Sports Cage live from the Brandt Centre, getting ready for the Pats and Wenatchee tonight, streaming at sportscage.com.
Let's talk about fashion.
It is Super Bowl weekend down there. I'm repping my Patriots from 2015 Super Bowl.
So that's a 10-year-old shirt.
Seattle Seahawks. Still fits.
Still fits. That's impressive.
Fits. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline Friday night. No one likes to cook, especially when you can't barbecue and stuff. So grab yourself a Western pie, maybe the Greek favorites like the ribs, the Greek salad, wings, burger. They got it all. Any of your Western pizzas. They also got the cool pickup specials. Our man on the Rider broadcast, color commentator, best in the league,
without a
hands down.
Not even close.
Luc Mullinder joining us. If you're watching the stream, look at this guy right now. Look at this jacket. Look at this setup. Luc, you look like you're ready for one of them rap videos. You look good. You look good on a Friday.
Yeah, you do look good.
Yeah,
I
like it.
Well, I've been known to frequent a couple of rap videos, boys. But listen, I mean, it's just right now. This is all strategic, man. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm also going to be picking up my son here, so I figured I better get a good parking spot right in front of my son's school. Because, dude, I have a reason to be here. I need to be here early so I can just talk to you guys, but also be on time. There are people already here. And I know they don't have to be here. They're just here, just scrolling. It's crazy. The lineup for my son's school is nuts. So I'm just ready to go right now, boys.
Luc, my question to you is, how far would your son have to walk if he had to walk home from school?
Oh, 1, 2, 3 blocks.
And you're picking him up?
It's cold out.
What? Put a coat on. Get the mitt.
Sharky, look, I get it. He's only 6 though, Sharky, right? Okay. And I feel like the brothers, the neighbors that he'd walk home with, I feel like he'd just go straight to their house and not come home at all. You know what I mean?
So this is more a containment issue than a pickup issue.
Yeah. So he's got to. I think he's going to be able to prove that he can walk to school at some point too. But the whole thing is, then guys, it's he's going to want to walk to school, but then it's going to get cold, and then he's going to want to ride, and then everybody's going to have to someone's going to have to change their schedule around just to come pick him up because it's 2025 and we entitle our kids and you know what I mean, drop everything for them. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how that's going to go.
It was uphill both ways for me.
As long as listen, I walked for 25 minutes, right? And my dad apparently walked for 6 days barefoot in the snow in New Zealand. So, it's all relative.
Yeah. There's also, do you know about the school zone pickups? You can't be U-turn guy or girl.
No,
that's illegal.
Yeah, big time.
And if you never, ever do a U-turn in a school zone, especially when it's busy, because these kids have no idea, right? They're like Luc said, they're walking into random houses. They don't know what the heck they're doing. Yeah. So you got to be so careful in the school zones. Let's get to the CFL news. Hey, this is like 20 minutes ago. The Riders announced Micah Johnson back with the green and white. Key. Did you think there was ever a doubt that he was going to be back here? Like, do you think he was out testing the waters?
I think that he probably got a fair assessment of what his value was on the field, but I think Mike is now a guy that probably understands his value also off the field, and it's probably exponentially greater in Saskatchewan than it would be finishing his career in another spot. I think that at the end of the day right now, what the Saskatchewan Roughriders have done is if Mike is healthy, they've got probably the best interior line combo in the entire CFL with him and Mike Rose. And don't forget, you got a guy like Caleb Saunders who started getting a lot better towards the end of the year, still on your roster. He can pass rush. You got Charbel De Beer, hopefully, who comes back healthy and even better. And you've got to think that JO's found some guys in camp that are going to compete and push for a rotational spot. But that inside with Mike Rose and Micah Johnson, the whole we don't want no smoke, that nobody's going to want smoke there. That's an unreal tandem. And it also takes the emphasis off of really needing like two excellent pass rushes. You've got Malik Carney, who's a veteran who really came into his own this year, I thought. And then I don't know if Shane Ray is going to end up being a guy that starts from day one or whatever in the rotation, but you find another guy. That defensive line right now is shaping up to be absolutely disgusting.
That's what I was going to ask about. Where do you think Shane Ray fits this year as a player? Where do you think?
I mean, you got to get a look at him in camp. He's a guy that unfortunately has outstanding ability, but just has never been able to stay healthy, right? So I think that J.O. had leverage in terms of what it was going to actually cost to get him under contract. But again, don't forget that you've got a guy like Habakkuk Baldonado coming back still, right? And he's a pass rusher. I really enjoyed watching Baldonado develop here this season. And I'll tell you what, one of the sneaky good signings, and I think it's just because he loves playing in a Coach Mace system and just really likes Coach Mace. That kid Marion that we got again, that re-signed here, that we got at the end of the year. I mean, he looks like a guy who can give you some really good reps in a jam. So again, that defensive line is shaping up. All to say, guys, I mean, right now, this offseason, with Jeremy O'Day coming out at the beginning of the offseason and saying, look, we really like our guys. We're not going to be an active squad in free agency. That's the key. I mean, if you can focus on your core and bringing your core back, you know that you're going to have a good team. All the Grey Cup teams that I went to, when we were going to Grey Cups, when we were at the top of the league, those were teams that had an established core and a great locker room vibe. And you only get that by keeping guys together. So I know it's way too early for this, and I think that a lot of this is going to be needed. Like, this is predicated on how well the offense can do, but I don't see why the Saskatchewan Roughriders aren't the favorites to represent the West in the Grey Cup at the moment. I just think that they've got all the things. They've got the coaching staff right now. You saw their ability to navigate massive adversity last year, not just in terms of getting guys ready to play, but also playing in tough spots. And year two under Coach Mace to look to build. I can't see why they wouldn't be the favorites in the West. And I haven't really said that before. I know I've said that, they're going to be a really good team in the West, but man, I really think if that offense can go and get sustainable and really sort of catch their groove, and I think Armstead, by the way, is going to have a great year if he's healthy. I don't see why they don't represent the West in the Grey Cup, boys.
So that was the big tease.
That's a big tease.
On social media, you said you're going to make a prediction. It is early, but we love it. We love it. that a boy.
Oh, it's so early. It's so early, and there's so many factors that go into it, right? Like you got to stay healthy, in key spots. But again, I think that I got to talk. I sat down at lunch with my boy today, and we talked a little bit of football and a little bit of business. But that defense, I think, is going to be fine. You've got Roland Milligan back. You've got some consistency at the safety. Marcus Sales, what a great signing that was. Outside of Milligan, he was our best defensive back last year, right? And you get him back.
What about Tavon Campbell, man?
Yeah. What a free ride
exactly.
that is.
Tavon, totally. Well, here's the other thing, guys. You still have Revis, Thurman, and CJ Avery at linebackers. Like, that defense is returning. Except for Campbell, like that is a monster defense. You got DeMarcus Fields at the other half. I'm telling you guys, I'm really excited about the year. And again, it's going to be predicated on how healthy you can stay. But I don't see why they don't represent the West in the Grey Cup. They're my favorites. That's my prediction. I know it's way too early for any of that stuff, but man, it's just looking at what's going on and looking how O'Day is navigating the offseason and still with a lot of it to go. I really like what Saskatchewan's putting on paper right now. But again, you guys all know we don't win championships on paper, right?
No, nobody's given up the Grey Cup in February. I do like a comment you made, Luc, and I think it's something that people really need to focus on is he's kept this core of this group together to keep that room together. They talked about it all last year, what a great room it was and how they were together as a group. You don't get that by turning out 25 or 30 guys and bringing out 25 or 30 new in. You've got to keep that core together, and I give O'Day and Mace a lot of credit for keeping that room in the same shape.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, from day one of training camp last year, Corey Mace wanted to establish that feeling of family, right? You're never going to be complete family members. Guys get that. It's not a kumbaya session for the rest of your life, right? But you are family when you spend 6 months together, right? And you're all making the same type of sacrifices in order to go towards a greater good, which in this case is winning the Grey Cup. So, but I think that he did a great job, and he does a great job of just solidifying that family dynamic, for that year. Everybody knows that, the team is going to look different from season to season. But again, it doesn't have to look completely different. And if you continue to bring back the core guys that you have in your locker room that understand how that dynamic and that family feel needs to look, feel, and more importantly, act throughout the year, you've got a good shot. And again, the schedule, they probably got the most favorable schedule in the Canadian Football League this year, boys, in terms of buys and just the way it's spread out. So,
that's the other thing that I was going to go to. Hey, we can throw out predictions in February.
Oh, without a doubt we can.
Why wouldn't a guy? Is that schedule? Let's remember the schedule is favorable for the Riders.
Luc, I would ask you one other question in terms of players yet to sign or re-sign. And like we've done a great job along the offensive and defensive line. Receivers are back. The re-addition of Picton, if you will, adding to the receiver depth.
Tommy Neild.
Tommy Neild. Is there something that you think the Riders still need to go out and find? Is there one position you go, we need one of those guys yet?
I think you got to find another old lineman that can play tackle. I think you got a couple guys that can. Yeah, I think you just got to continue to solidify the trenches. I'd love to see another receiver, but again, the other thing that I'm gonna remind people of is Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, this is a guy that's going to go into his second year in the Canadian Football League, and I think that guy can potentially be the guy for the green and white here this year. When it, I mean, it's going to be hard to take away from the production and capacity of Schaefer Baker and Emelis, but Keyshawn Johnson, and remember, what was great about him was the dependability that he gave the offense in Saskatchewan, especially in those second and long moments. All right, when you needed a big play, I really think that if he takes another step, that offense again, if that offense can go. Yeah, sky's the limit. I don't see why they don't win the West.
We get Trevor Harris healthy for more than 10 games this year. Look out, because I think
if we don't, I think we're
we had the all-star quarterback with the best passing rating in the league, and he didn't even play all the games. Like, imagine if he's there more often. What difference is that going to? I think it's going to be just enormous to Rider fans.
Yeah, and I think that again, you're going to bring back AJ Ouellette, but again, I got to tell you, Reichwell Armstead, if he comes with the right attitude this year, he's going to have a monster year. This is a team that wanted to run the football last year. They didn't get a ton of consistency out of it. When Reichwell did join the team, especially in Calgary, he showed you what he was capable of. And then I think that he was a little bit hurt, and obviously AJ Ouellette came back as well. But you've got a real dynamic tandem there with Ouellette and Armstead. You're going to have to get it from the Canadians on the field, though, because they're going to have to be able the ratio is going to need to benefit them this year, right? Whether that's playing a number of Canadians, but specifically, if you're able to go with an American running back tandem, if you're able to keep it American, maybe in the linebacker spots, again, this team's going to be trouble. I really like the makeup right now. I'm excited. It's not even close to May.
That's right. Tavon.
You're ready to strap up and go. Let's get in there, baby.
That's where that Tavon.
No. Hold on a second. No. Absolutely not, Sharky. I am not ready to strap up and go. I am not ready to do anything physical. And if you hear any of the alumni guys tell you that they've got one more play in them and they've been out of the game for more than a year, they're lying.
Okay, I want to get your take as a former defensive lineman, and maybe how the game has changed a bit, where the Riders go out and they sign Tommy Stevens, or allegedly they're signing that third and short quarterback, and we played the clips, and I'm sure the boys are going to fire him up here. Some of his runs. He's looking to score on third and short. He's not
just getting a yard.
No. What do you think about going out and if they are going to sign him, if it is finally going to be a done deal next week, Luke, and just how, having a guy in that spot?
Well, he's as big as a tight end. It's a tight end playing 3rd and 1, right? Mm-hmm. He's a monster. I mean, look at him running. That's a horse right there, boys. I think that in a league where 3rd and 1s and 2nd and goals, 2nd and really short, where there's such critical downs to continue drives, I think that you've got to have a guy that is almost virtually a lock to get one of those if he's falling forward. And I know we're seeing the big plays here where he's cutting them to the outside, and those are what's going to get the highlights going. But at the end of the day, and at his heart, in terms of that short yardage rep, he's a guy that's just going to fall forward and go get it. So I like it because if you think about it, there hasn't been a ton of consistency back there for us for the last couple of years when it came to the 3rd and short or the goal to go downs. And again, if you're in a 3-down league, you need every single down, right? So let's take the guesswork out of it. Let's get some consistency in that 3rd down, and maybe we can then, maybe if we become excellent at 3rd down efficiency, maybe we can become a team that changes considerably when we look at the longer downs, like 2nd and 7 plus, right? Maybe we don't need 8, 9 on 2nd and long anymore, right? What if we get 5 and we have a monster who we can create a playbook for 3rd and 1 to 2 or 3? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is where I think the analytics and the data, and when you got smart people working it, it's like, all right, this is what. And you bring up a good point, Luke. And I was on the other side, and I'm like, do we need to waste a spot on a 3rd and short? But now when I think about it, yard off the ball, how many times you're in that again? If you did the data and the Moneyball kind of side of it, and it's like, okay, maybe this does make sense there, Barney. Okay, before
well, look at the Philadelphia Eagles. The NFL is literally about to change the law because the Eagles are so good at it. Right?
Yeah. Okay, I want to get to NFL and Super Bowl quick, but I want to just your comments on Zach Collaros is coming out and calling the timing of the CFL salary cap increase absolutely ridiculous. It comes down a couple of days ago. We're in free agency, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're moving things up." What's your take on it? Kind of a weird time for it, Luke.
Honestly, I know that this takes collective bargaining agreements, and I actually think that if the league has a surplus or the revenues increased, I would have loved to see the league invest in some infrastructure. I would have loved to see the league invest in their coaches a little bit more, maybe ease the stupid coaching cap. I would have loved to see us put maybe some more money because of our instant replay system. Maybe we put some more money into a couple more cameras on the field, right? If we really want to become a league that relies on instant replay consistently. So I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong, though. Players getting more money, I'll never say no to that. I'm glad about that. But again, we always talk about the CFL as it relates to whether it can sustain over the long term, right? And I think it's a sustainable league for sure. I think it's going to be here for another 100 years. But again, it doesn't mean you stop building into the strengths, into the infrastructure of it. And I really think that if they took some of the money and the revenue and invested it in other places, and also the players, I think that we can continue making steps as a whole league and not just right as a player group. But again, those things take negotiating and stuff, right?
Charleston Hughes the other day with Maz says, I wouldn't spend it if I was a team. I would just kind of hold on to it. I'm like, what?
Here's a point I'll make to that, though. And I mean, it was made public, obviously, in the last couple of days, but I'm sure the general managers and the governors and everybody within the league knew.
Glenn Suter thinks they didn't.
Well, controversy. But again, I would suspect that they were ahead of that. I would.
All right. Okay. So what's your plan for Super Bowl? Do you go Super Bowl party? Do you just kind of kick back in your
favorite food,
lazy boy? Yeah, with whatever you want to eat. You don't have to worry about other people. What's kind of Luke doing Sunday?
Look, man, I hate Super Bowl parties. Unless I know all the people and the parameters around the party. And you want to know why? Because I like football and I love watching the game. And I can't stand that if you're at a Super Bowl party, people talk during the game and then shut up during the commercials. It's bass backwards. I hate it. So my homeboy's coming over, Ty. He's gonna bring his son so Luther can be occupied. We're just gonna hang out. But yeah, it's about food. My go-to is always pizza, Sharky. Always pizza.
Western's for
love
sure.
It. Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe for neighbors
not
are
pheasant
having
pot pie, that's for sure.
Yeah. No,
Luke, I'm making you a pheasant pot pie, baby. I'm delivering one to you. You're gonna have it. You're gonna love it.
It's not gonna go over well.
Hey, look, I appreciate it, Sharky. And you know what? How about we just do this, brother? How about we just start off? Maybe deliver me a slice. So if I don't like it, I don't waste an entire effort of pie. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm good. Maybe a tart. Maybe a tart size one.
Yeah. Start slow, you know.
If any of your neighbors are having Super Bowl parties, you could just send your boy over to do a pre-scout. Just let him walk in randomly. Be like, "Yeah, how was the party going? What do they got to eat? What do they got to eat?"
Hey, I got some good neighbors. I got some football neighbors though. Now I got some good neighbors for the Super Bowl. So yeah, if my TV was to fall off the wall and we had no capacity at my house to watch, I know that my neighbors would be doing some cool stuff. So I have no problem going over there.
Okay, who you taking in the game?
Kansas City. Kansas City, man. I hate the Eagles. I hate anybody in the NFC East except Dallas. So I'm never going to cheer for the Eagles. But more importantly, guys, like all the stats that matter, Pat Mahomes is literally the best stat ever, right? This Kansas City team won every single game almost in the last possession. They always needed to grind it out. I think if Philly's not up by 14 in the first quarter, like how are they gonna? If Philly goes down by 10 and Saquon, they have to do something other than give the ball to Saquon or push their way up the field. I don't see them throwing the football with a ton of success. And I read a stat, and you guys know me, man. Stats aren't everything, and I'll be the first one to say this, but there was one stat I read, and it's been talked about on all the shows, where, like, in terms of fourth quarter game-winning or game-tying drive, Pat Mahomes was damn near 100% in those situations. And the next closest guy was like Tom Brady at 46% or something like that. Like that's how far above. And again, it's not just Mahomes. Andy Reid is an absolute genius when it comes to scheming these situations. So if it's a close game, I don't see why Kansas City doesn't win it. So I'm going KC.
Steve Spagnuolo's a genius.
He is. They're defensive.
Yeah. I don't mind Kansas City coaching.
They're a defensive squad. They're a defensive squad. That's the worst part about it.
And you know what? I'm glad you did it from a football standpoint, because the only thing I don't like about Kansas City is the sideshow that's going on, right? All the other garbage around them, but as a football team, they're very, very sound.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you?
Well, I mean, with the whole Taylor Swift thing, you know what I always say, Sharky, and my dad told me that, you know what, it doesn't matter how important or how good a girl looks, somewhere, in some house, some block, there's always somebody that's really sick of her crap. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I got that shirt. I got it, Luke. I got that shirt.
There you go, brother.
I love. We got to end it on that. He was like, you can ask me anything. I was going to ask you about Kanye West's wife's dress at the Grammys, but we're going to end it on that. And you know what? We might need to bring you back, because next week, things could happen, right? Free agency. So might have to get you again.
Just let your boy know, man.
Well, I just, in case you're doing a rap video or something, I don't want to interrupt, right?
Hey, look, I get, those rap videos, those are voluntary, man. So you just let me know.
Maestro Fresh West. Let's bring him back. All right, Luke, have a good weekend, buddy. Go Eagles.
All right, boys.
See you, Luke.
Color commentator on our broadcast, Luc Mullinder. Likes, he's Fridays are his day to join.
That's his good day.
That's kind of his buffer day at work.
Yeah.
So he's like, and then that's why we get all of Luke on Friday.
And not only get all of Luke, but he talks about things that you don't even think about, right?
No,
like when he's talking about analyzing the Eagles and the Chiefs, and he says Mahomes 100% in game-winning drives. Like, you think about that, like, how do you beat that? Like, if the guy's perfect or he does that so well in a game-winning situation, as much as again, my dislike for what's going on with the Chiefs is not the football team. It's all that garbage we have to watch and wait for around it. So, yeah.
And then him and Dave Thomas are so good together.
They are. I love the call.
They should, for a joke, pseudo call the Grey Cup game. You can list.
You mean the Super Bowl?
Grey Cup to the Super Bowl, yeah, not the Grey Cup, the Super Bowl. I can't believe I forgot he's a Cowboys fan though.
I know, that's one of the things I really like about him.
We'll come back with some text messages out on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. If you want to chime in, 306-936-6262. Some people are thinking Luke's drunk with his prediction, but
no,
we can make a February prediction. It is the Sports Cage live from the Brandt Centre and streaming at sportscage.com. It's Flavored Fridays at the Canadian Brewhouse today, and it's also prime rib and mashed potatoes.
I wondered where you were going. They're talking about us.
No. Jeez. Okay, let's start this all over again.
Please.
Flavored Fridays at the Canadian Brewhouse. $20.99 for an 8-ounce, also prime rib, or $25.99 for a 12-ounce prime rib. $9.99 tankards. Here's where the Flavored Fridays come in. $11.99 flavored vodka drinks, 2 ounces. You can also add the slush in there as well. So 2 locations in Regina, 1 in Moose Jaw, and a few up in Saskatoon. Prairie Land Rentals.
You got to give me heads up when you're doing that.
Prairie Land Rentals text line. Like I said, some people were agreeing with Luke's prediction.
Prognostication.
Super Bowl. Call him the Super Bowl in February. And one gentleman said, "Is Luke drunk? Is Luke drinking?" And I said, "Hey, no, he's all good." Also, safety dude Jeff texting in. He said some spelling mistakes here, but it's okay. I think I know what he's saying. Riders, like, they have the defense, they have the offense, and will win the Grey Cup. Running game is key.
Don't disagree with Jeff at all, and I love what Jeremy O'Day has added to his existing roster. You know, with the 1-year salary or the 1-year contracts that are in place, it's interesting to see which players come back, which come back excited and want to be there because the rest of the guys have returned. I do think they talk a little bit in the offseason, say, "What are you going to do? Does it work for you?" And I like the makeup of that team. I really do.
So if you want to chime in and you want to have your say on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals since 1986. Big or small jobs. Stop in and deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. Sold out of snowblowers this year.
I can believe it. Yeah, go see Jeremy. He doesn't have any. No,
but he got some real big ones.
He can set you up for the lawn.
He can get you. No, he can get you just rent a skid steer or a front end loader or something. Your neighbors will be happy. Now you're plowing snow. Now
What's the insurance coverage on that, Jeremy?
Yeah.
What do we got? What kind of waiver we got to sign?
Okay, so yes, it was the NFL awards last night. And there's a couple things here. So you kind of got to be paying. If you're watching the stream, we're going to show first the picture of Bill Belichick and his lady friend.
Don't say it like that. It's his girlfriend.
Girlfriend. Well, lady, girl, same thing.
Yeah.
So yes, it looks. He is very old.
I gotta
and
get.
She is not. If you're watching,
good heavens!
Stream,
Oh yeah.
yeah, very attractive human being. And Bill's won a lot of Super Bowls and probably has a lot of money. Now, Ryan's coming over to look at it even. And then if you didn't hear, Snoop Dogg was the MC,
yes,
was the host. Here's what he had to say. It's kind of his opening monologue. And if you didn't hear Snoop Dogg and his do we have it? Maybe we don't have it. You
I
guys
don't
can
know.
you guys can talk to me.
I don't have that.
Oh, they've lost it. Okay.
Curtis didn't get it.
Sorry.
We're gonna get it yet. I sent it to him at like 8 this morning. We'll get it.
I was sleeping. I was sleeping.
Yeah. But Snoop Dogg's whole thing, and he didn't write it. Obviously, there's writers that do that, or there's guys that put that together for him. But his whole monologue, he offended everybody he spoke about in there. Like none of them laughed. None of them thought it was funny, except for the comment about Belichick's girlfriend. That was the only thing that drew some laughter from the crowd. But when you make fun of Joe Burrow's defense or Josh Allen not beating Patrick Mahomes, et cetera, there's a lot better way to do that joke than to make fun of that player in his particular team, because he's not going to laugh if you're making fun of his teammates.
I'm trying to. What they
should have done was said, kids, Josh Allen's house is one of the best places to go on Halloween. Do not dress as a referee. That's what they should have done. That would have been a better joke than what he did.
You got MVP.
He did, and rightfully so. I would have picked him. Yep, I would have picked him.
I really want the Snoop thing, but yeah, and then
Snoop was offside.
No, he wasn't.
Well, on some of it.
So fine. You snowflaking out on me here?
Not a chance.
You're getting soft.
Are you kidding me?
Did you guys? Okay, so while we wait for the video on Snoop, maybe they can throw up the picture. Did you see what Ricky Fowler was wearing golfing yesterday?
I did. And I love it.
At the Waste Management Open.
I want that.
Yeah, you would love that.
I want that outfit.
If you're watching the stream,
Look
there
at that.
It is like Sharky is going hunting down in Plentywood, Montana. It's camouflaged gear.
I love it.
I don't know if we have the picture. He had to hit out of a bush.
And they couldn't
one of those little. No, you could right here. So it's like everyone's joking about it, right? Because he's camouflaged. You got to be watching the stream for this. It is awesome.
It's outstanding. It's outstanding.
I think I've hit out of that same bush on that golf course, to be honest with you.
I would love somebody to get me some camouflage golf shirts. I think they'd be just awesome.
There's people that can do that in
do
the
we got
city.
somebody? Do we got somebody?
Shop local. So the golf attire thing on the PGA is getting really interesting, because last week
I saw that too.
Jason Day, and the boys will throw it up on the stream as well.
Or pajamas.
Jason Day, it's a comfy sweatsuit. Like, he looked like he was ready to take a 7-hour flight somewhere, and how cozy you would look in that.
You wouldn't even be let on at the Royal or the Wascana or Deer. Like, they would say, no, you can't play in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just total gray sweatsuit.
Yeah. And that was at like Pebble Beach or something? Is that
was at Pebble?
Yeah.
I don't know where golf was going. I thought that the skinny pants at the bottom and the no socks that guys were wearing was a little bit weird, because you start seeing that at the Royal.
Yeah.
You see guys one, it's like,
not a fan.
Oh, dude.
No.
But
No.
and the other side of it, like, can we get away in golf of the guys wearing, like, there's some guys that dress like Matt Kuchar. Always, like, he bad slacks, a bad belt, a bad hat combo.
There's a lot of fashion faux pas. There really is.
Yeah.
Right?
Can we get away from like the bad slacks and all? Like, let the guys wear some of this stuff.
I don't have a problem with the camel for sure.
I got the Snoop video. Are you ready?
We're talking golf now. That's a bad segue.
All right, then no Snoop. I'm not playing it. Screw you.
And what about shorts? What's your take on Shorts.
Well, shorts are shorts, right?
No, like Live Golf lets them wear shorts.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
PGA should be able to wear shorts.
Why not? They're playing in like 90-degree heat. Why wouldn't they wear shorts? The women should wear shorts.
Well, the women do.
Not all of them. A lot of them wear slacks.
Not many, man. Clam diggers. They wear everything. They wear skirts, shorts.
The skirts are fine. Yeah.
So guys should be allowed to wear shorts.
I don't just wear clean, tailored shorts. Like, I don't want to see a bunch of people running around like they're going to go throw bales the rest of the afternoon. No offense to farmers throwing bales, but yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the NFL awards, and here's what Snoop Dogg had to say, and more pertaining to Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
I'm not doing it. No. I was ready one time only. Doesn't happen again.
We apologize.
Yeah, we have some issues.
We'd like to play the video
at the studio. Come on, Curtis, do it for the team.
Because I've been a football fan for a long, long time. I mean, I remember back when the Cowboys was good. I remember back when the Chiefs was bad. And I remember, what was it? Bill Belichick's girlfriend wasn't even born yet.
Poor Bill just has to sit there and take it. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. Let's take a quick break.
He's when I can't hear you, I have my Super Bowl rings in my ears.
I want to get to a couple more texts on the Prairie Land Rentals text line after the break. We are streaming live from the Brandt Centre at sportscage.com. All right, we're getting to news here in about 4 minutes time. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Dion from Regina says, so the Riders have an injury-prone 39-year-old quarterback, and their two backups are Mayer and Stevens, who were brutal in past couple of years at 5-12-1 record last year. Rider fans laughed and trashed the Stamps QB room last year. Now they are another injury from Harris having the same tandem running the team. And you were talking Grey Cup. She's laughing. Okay, for starters,
he's predicting an injury.
Don't compare Calgary's defense, Calgary's culture last year, Calgary's anything to what the Riders have.
It's completely different. Yeah.
Now, yes, 39-year-old quarterback. How old is Caleros?
I believe 36.
So he's in the wheelhouse. He was in the Grey Cup again last year. Age has nothing to do with 39, and it's like the old adage, 40 is the new 30 or whatever. So I think he will be fine. And Dion, remember, the guy that won the Grey Cup last year was Nick Arbuckle.
Starting his first game of the year.
If you would have said at one point, Nick, if you would have been on a talk show and been like, and Nick Arbuckle is going to come in and he is going to win a Grey Cup.
And be Grey Cup MVP.
You would go, what are you smoking?
You just said who?
Where is the gas leak? And so a lot can change.
Yes.
Can Jake Mayer win a Grey Cup? Who knows?
With the Rider offensive line scheme and team around him?
I'll give you Tommy Stevens probably isn't going to be able to sling it around enough to get you to a Grey Cup. But he is he's the tool in the toolbox for certain
instances. And we didn't bring Tommy Stevens in to be the starting quarterback.
No. So I appreciate the text, Dion. You are I get what you're saying. But yeah, let's not compare to the Rider room and what the Riders have to the dysfunctional dumpster fire that was Calgary the last couple of years.
I love when you make a comment, and Luke's made a comment and a prediction that the Riders should be the first place team in the West.
And safety dude Jeff did too.
Yeah, and I mean, we are February 7th, right? So easy to make those predictions. But then somebody comes back, well, remember he was hurt last year. Remember Santa Claus showed up last year. What's the point of that? Right? He's old. Well, he's in great shape. He was the all-star quarterback last year. Why wouldn't you want this guy to play? I think Trevor Harris is the easiest re-signing for the Riders.
And it's football. It's all game plan.
It is.
So you got a guy in there that can't sling it. You got Armstead, and you can put Ouellette in the lineup, or there's a number of
receivers we can throw. Like, I like it. I really do.
I'm just saying, our quarterback situation, we're in a good spot.
We're in a good spot across the board. And I go back to last year with the offensive line, where Jeremy O'Day found more offensive linemen than the rest of the league combined.
Yeah, Micah Johnson played offensive line, and he just re-signed with the Riders today.
And he's wearing number 4 on the offensive line, in case you're wondering.
1 hour in the books. Thanks for the text, though, Dion. I appreciate it.
Love the reach out.
936-6262. 4 o'clock hour. We are at the Brandt Centre. The Pats play ice hockey against Wenatchee this evening. We're going to talk to 2 of the Regina Pats. It is Indigenous celebration night.
Special jerseys tonight that look sharp.
We will talk to Connor Bear. It is the Sports Cage on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Regina Pats, 620 CKRM. We are live at the Brandt Centre today, getting ready for the Regina Pats and Wenatchee Wild. 7 p.m. puck drop here. It is Indigenous celebration night. You walk right in here. Yes, if you're watching the stream, Sharky is wearing the jerseys.
It's fantastic.
They're going to be wearing tonight. It is. I was trying to figure it out, and I'm like, what does that remind me of? A star blanket.
Yes,
that's where they got the inspiration.
The colors, the look. It is
a very nice jersey.
It is.
I think. To each their. When you walk in to
the West End.
At the West, is this the West End?
It's the West End.
West End to the left by the subway, they've erected a full-size teepee.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Really good job.
Yeah.
So we are going to be joined in a bit by Connor Bear from the Ochapowace First Nation.
And the ladies running the Pat store, they think they're getting this back.
Are they selling those?
Well, this one has a price tag on it. I don't know if it's for sale or not, but it has a number on it.
Okay. Well, you might be able to purchase these. I like the Extreme Hockey logo.
Yeah.
Too. And speaking of the Extreme Hockey, Western Hockey League
cupboard
report, Extreme Hockey, the new CCM Vision sticks have arrived, and anything you need Yeti-wise, Extreme Hockey is your place.
Do they have any wood sticks?
Tonight, yes, in the basement they do, actually. Tonight, like we said, Wenatchee's here at the Pats. I'm just going to run down the Sasky teams tonight in the WHL because there's a ton of games. The Blades are at the Brandon Wheat Kings. Important game. All these games are so important when it comes to standings-wise, and I know there's a bunch of games left in the Eastern Conference, but things like it is so wild. Dave Struch's Red Deer Rebels are still only 10 points out of a fair fight. The Blades are in Brandon. PA, they're doing the Triangle of Death right now. And they're in Lethbridge tonight, and PA needs points as well. Swift Current, things aren't easy for them. They're in Medicine Hat. Moose Jaw Warriors are in Red Deer. Another one of note, Alberta teams, Edmonton, Calgary. Some really good games in the Western Hockey League tonight. SJHL. Our SJHL reports are always for the new King of Trucks in Southeast Saskatchewan. Southie, Mainline, Chrysler, where right now they got the Ram trucks for just $49,995. Estevan making, there couldn't be a further trip for Estevan to make. They might as well be driving to California. They're in Flin Flon this evening.
It is the biggest spread in the SJHL.
Weyburn, another not an easy jaunt. Weyburn's in Larange to take on Kevin Kaminsky's boys. Humboldt's at Kindersley, Nipawin in Melfort. AAA midget. Again, I'm D standings, and you've been to a few Pats games this year. This is good hockey in Regina coming up March and April. Moose Jaw Swift Current tonight. 4 points separate those two teams in the AAA midget standings. The Blazers, they lost 4-3 to Warman yesterday. Blazers are in trouble. They're down in 5th place now. PA is here to take on the Patsies tomorrow. Note the start time, 1:30. At the Sixer, Cooperator 6. Good chance that the restaurant and bar is not even open.
Nope.
At 1:30.
Yep.
They do weird things over there.
Pre-lunch. Make sure you get fed before you get here.
1:30. Go to the Subway. Subway will be open downstairs and they'll be making it. Prairie Junior, the Junior B Loop, the Storm 4-1 over the Regina Capitals last night. They're now 8 points back. Shout out Peyton Kostyuk and Tristan Gross 1-1 each for the Storm last night. The Quakers in Fort Knox, 4 p.m. tomorrow. The interesting thing about that is I segue to senior hockey. Tomorrow in Fort Capel,
Okay.
rink, nice rink.
Nice rink. Yep.
It's got naming. It's got a naming name.
Used to be the Rec Center.
Yeah, it's got a company branding naming rights on it now. I can't remember who it is. Oh, sorry.
Text it in.
So 4 p.m. tomorrow, the Junior B game. 8 p.m. tomorrow night, the Round Lake Bears, Balcarres Bronx.
Is that in Fort Capel?
Yes.
It's not in Balcarres.
It's in Fort. Gubba can't hold enough people, right? So they're going about 1,100 people in Fort Capel.
I'd have jammed him into that little rink in Balcarres and had a heck of a time. Yep.
There is some provincial action tonight. Wadeena's in Lumsden. The Bakery Boys taking on the Beach Boys. Drake's in Loreburn. Eston's in Unity. Not-a-Q playoffs. Avonlea, Radville tonight. Lafleche and Mossbank. Hodgeville and Assiniboia. Yellowgrass and Cornack. So tomorrow night I'm going to the game.
I know you are in the Fort. Yeah.
Round Lake.
I still would have jammed him into your own barn. But anyway.
Round Lake and Balcarres. We got to take a quick break.
Well, hang on. Before we do that,
okay.
If you remember, and I like to bring these up when I'm correct, if you remember early, because Colson's writing down all the things that I say, but I said
in the book,
he's got a book
sponsored.
Yeah, we need the Sharky prediction book.
No, it's not just Sharky.
No, it's everybody.
You're only doing this once a week, Slim.
Slim, like I look like that in this jersey. Oh my God, I got the goalie one. Anyway, I said how big it was for PA to get on a streak, to get into second place for that first round of the playoffs. So the Raiders are now in second in the East, which means they would play the Oil Kings in the first round. The team that finished, so if they had stayed where they were, where the Blades are going to play the Calgary Hitmen.
Lots is going to change, though.
I know, but it's tight.
There's only 2 points separating Prince Albert, Brandon, Saskatoon.
Yeah,
only
it's
2
tight.
Points. We're talking
six counting the Broncos.
We're talking WHL hockey. Connor Bear is going to join us from the Regina Pats on Indigenous Celebration Night here at the Brandt Centre. After the break, it's the Sports Cage streaming at sportscage.com. Back on Friday for Nelson Holmes. It's time for the Freeze Tallman, though.
Freeze Tallman.
Indigenous Sports Spotlight. And we teed it up. Connor Bear from the Regina Pats is here with us. Indigenous Celebration Night. So Sharky's wearing the jersey. Let's not worry about how Sharky looks in the jersey. Are you excited? Like, this isn't Sharp jersey.
Oh, yeah. No, I love it. It's the design and everything. And the morning star blanket's awesome.
The star blanket feel, right?
Yeah.
I think, like, where did I, so when these teams do this and Regina Pats do this, and you came in here from Calgary this year, and they have an Indigenous night. It's always big. They got the TP set up right out there. But for you, now they're getting traded here. You're from OCHAP, being so close. What's it been like?
It's been unreal. I mean, I've had at least over 30 people come to almost every game, and always people asking for tickets or just saying like, hey, I'm coming to the game, do well. And it's been unreal.
They're not expecting you to buy those tickets for them.
No, not always. No.
Do you remember, like, when you were younger, like who would you go and watch, or
Actually, not too long ago, my mom sent me a picture. We came and watched Kirk Bear.
Yeah,
he played with Red Deer, and we came to a game here actually and watched him. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So this jersey tonight, now these are up for auction. You were saying earlier that these, and I'm trying to find it, and excuse my lack of skills on these computer little device thingies. Where can guys find them? Do you know where they're at?
Yeah, I was looking at it today, and if you go on the Instagram of the Pats, there's a website right at the top there, and you press on it, and then go to auctions, and it's right there.
And you say there's some guys bidding from back home. They're trying to beat each other for this jersey.
From what it looks like, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
We won't drop any names on who's bidding for it, but it sounds like there's a bidding war on Connor Bear's jersey.
Nice.
Let's talk about the team and the game. Young squad.
Yeah.
We had Al Miller on last Friday when we were here. You guys, as a young team, and let's talk about yourself. You guys go in and you do that swing where you play Calgary, Medhat, Lethbridge, teams that are built for the Memorial Cup. What's that like, having such a young team?
I mean, it's intense. Definitely have to change our game a bit with those teams, but still be physical. But I don't know, we got some skill and some physical, and we do well. I think we could do a lot better than we have.
When you talk about the youth of this team, you guys obviously have to come together as a group. There's leadership, but it's not like 10, 19-year-olds that are leading you guys. It's the young guys that are going to have to come together and be that. What is that like in the room for the group together?
No, it's actually pretty good. I mean, Babcock's a great leader, and we got some young guys that are really stepping up and using their voice. And I mean, just everyone's doing their part in the job. It's pretty good.
Love it.
Regina Pats Connor Bear is joining us here. Pats and Wenatchee, 7 p.m. tonight here at the Brandt Centre. We were talking earlier, you played with Warman last year for your uncle, Courage Bear. Are you tomorrow night in Fort Qu'Appelle? It's Round Lake, kind of hubbed out of Ochapowace against Balcarres, the Bronx. Tons of Bears there too. I'm sure those are relation.
Yeah, there's lots.
Yeah. Are you going to be following? Are you jumping on the Round Lake bandwagon?
I always have. I've been trying to go to so many games, but been caught up with hockey. But those are such fun games to watch.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's going to be packed in the fort tomorrow.
Well, I wish they were in Balcarres, but that is good. That's going to be a super, super cool game tomorrow night.
And then so for yourself, what are you weighing at right now?
I'd say 170 now.
170. Take us through the bull riding.
Oh yeah.
Is that an off-season thing?
No, not anymore. I can't. My mom would kill me. Yeah. No.
How long did you do it? What got you into it?
Well, when COVID hit and hockey was shut down, my dad used to ride bulls, and a PBR bull rider was in my town, and Cody Coverchuck was his name, and he taught me how to ride some bulls, and I just kept doing it because I loved it. And next thing you know, I was in the high school rodeo of Saskatchewan. And won the whole thing.
You won the high school rodeo for bull riding?
Yeah.
Right on.
That's awesome, man.
How does one learn? Take us through that first day. Is it just, okay, you get on this one, or do you start at something smaller?
You start smaller, right?
Oh, yeah, you start real small. Yeah. You start with something nice and light, nothing too rank. But I mean, as we go, you just figure it out. And once you figure it out, you got her.
So you're going to give a young guy a tip that wants to be a bull rider. What's the first thing you got to know?
Balance, lots of balance, and you have to give really good grip strength.
So grip strength, core strength,
yeah, that's really it.
So when's the last time you rode one?
Without pretend mom's not listening. When's the last time you rode one?
Last summer.
So obviously hockey, and then hockey, sky's the limit. All that. Do you think maybe later in your life that you get back into it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I had to choose between hockey and rodeo when I decided to go with the dub, and I chose hockey because I knew once hockey's over, I can go right back into that.
Do you have a favorite bull rider?
Yeah, I'd say Cody Coverchuck, since he taught me everything I know.
Yeah. And have you ever been to like the big, like here?
The PBR one? Yeah.
That's here at
it's crazy.
Agribition?
Yeah. Well, Agribition's one, but yeah, when they bring those pro guys in that just bull ride.
And then the Vegas and all that.
I have not. No, I really want to go to the one. Like the Calgary Stampede's sick.
It's gonna be pretty cool in our careers, and we're gonna look back and go, hey, we interviewed that guy about hockey, and now he's the Stampede riding bulls. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
I would love that.
Yeah, man, the bull ride. It's so dangerous. Have you ever seen the movie? You're young. Have you ever seen the movie 8 Seconds?
I have watched it a couple times. Yeah.
It's a sick soundtrack.
Yeah.
By the way, as well, if you like your country music. No, but Pats, Wenatchee tonight. You guys are back here. It's always kind of weird too. Like when you get these teams like Wenatchee. Sharky didn't even know where Wenatchee was. Yeah. They only come in here once
every 2 years.
Yeah, every 2 years. You go there next year. Does the mindset change? Like when you're getting prepared for a game like this?
Not really. No, it's just the same thing every day. I mean, we have one guy that was from Wenatchee, and he's told us some stuff, so I think we can do well.
And what you say that every game there's about 30 tickets that you got. What are you thinking tonight with Indigenous celebration? You're in the house. How many supporters do you think you have tonight?
Well, my reserve was raffling off a bunch of tickets, and my mom said around 50, and then plus a bunch of people from Kakwishtahow, and then all over the place. So I'd say close to 100.
So it's going to be a pretty big cheering section for Mr. Bear.
So, yeah.
I love it.
And go on and bid on the jerseys.
These, if you're not online bidding, you're missing out because these are actually beautiful. They are beautiful.
There's a sick. I asked you your favorite bull rider.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite hockey player?
I'd go with my cousin Ethan Bear.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He just played in the AHL All-Star game.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Connor, thanks so much for making time. It's going to be an exciting night for you. And hey, sky's the limit for this past team. Like, I'm telling people, come and watch you guys, right? Because you guys are scrappy.
Yeah.
You're going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right on.
And then bull riding.
Yeah.
Don't tell Mom.
I won't.
Connor Bear from the Regina Pats joining us. We'll take a quick break. It is the Sports Cage on the home of the Regina Pats, 620 CKRM. Clutch performer time for Nick Service in Emerald Park.
Whoever designed this jersey.
Your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077. Talk to the good folks at Nick Service.
And I love these colors.
Yeah, does it have who designed it on this? I was keep talking.
Okay.
I was just reading the press release.
Talk amongst yourselves while we figure out. Anyway, it is super, super cool. Great colors on it. They show them there in the dressing room. They've got a great shot of the Pats dressing room as they're getting ready for tonight. Jerseys hanging up there. Very cool. The names are not on a name bar. They're actually right in the jerseys. So those printed ones, if you will. And go online and bid on them. Now on Instagram, there's a link so you can get online and buy your favorite player and buy his jersey. By the way, Connor Bear's jersey is in a bidding war right now. So if you want to get on it.
How much?
No, I haven't got there yet. I've been trying to find it. You know my limited skills with these things at my age.
Okay.
You find the designer yet?
I think so. Roger W. Ross, Métis Cree member of the George Gordon First Nation in Saskatchewan.
There we go.
Award-winning multimedia producer, director, and writer with over 30 years of experience in the film and video industry. He's also recognized as the traditional storyteller, dedicated to preserving the oral traditions of his people. I'm thinking that he's the Ross alongside Quentin Carmark, a seasoned graphic designer and illustrator, has collaborated on a number of Indigenous box. Yeah, so these things are sick. That's a good clutch performer.
Oh, without a doubt, that's the clutch performer. These are awesome. Go bid online.
Yeah, go bid online for sure. And then the other one I have is we got a video if you're watching the stream. Scored another one last night. How many behind is he now?
16. It's 16 to
16. Alexander Ovechkin. Wasn't an empty net goal. It was a legit, buried the one-timer against Philly. 16 back.
Empty net goals are important. They guarantee the win.
Wayne Gretzky. And then I got a text message here to the bat phone, to the personal, not clutch performer of the day, Curtis.
Oh,
for not playing the video.
For not playing the video.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a clutch performer, always brought to you by Nick Service in Emerald Park.
We've got to be nice to Curtis. He can turn us off or put faces over
Your
top.
local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer.
Curtis, please be kind to us. Please be kind. We're nothing
Curtis
without you, baby.
Curtis has a big frown right now. I got another clutch performer, and it's also jersey related.
Go.
The Utah Grizzlies of the ECHL.
Yep.
Sharky, you're gonna love these.
Oh,
They are.
What
Yeah.
the?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get my hands on one of those.
Yeah. If you can't see the stream,
outstanding.
it's a. I don't know what the outfit's called, but it's fishing attire.
It's a fly
And-
fishing jacket, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very creative.
Yes. Very nice.
So they've got a Valentine's Day game, and then the day after Valentine's Day is their fishing gear game. So these are the jerseys for that.
Not near as nice as the Regina Pats.
I don't know.
Indigenous
This
celebration
is nice,
jerseys.
but those are pretty cool.
Yeah, you would like that.
I would.
You and
Yeah.
Crofty get a couple of those jerseys.
I get some other guys that fish too. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be pretty handy. If they were waterproof so you could wear them in the rain, that'd be good too.
We talked to Luc Mullinder off the start of the show. You can always go back and listen to everything in podcast form if you missed it. And we talked about the Riders. Micah Johnson came down today signing.
Love it.
Micah Johnson. And a lot of people kind of forget I loved it, that he Labor Day game. It's like, hey, can you go play O-line for us, please?
Yeah. No, he wore 57 when he played O-line. Wore 4 when he played defensive line.
Yeah.
That's it. I had a backwards.
Jersey on and off. But another great signing. And like Luke said, the defense is coming together.
You know, Micah Johnson's the equivalent of 2 human beings. He is so big, and when he plays in that middle, he just consumes offensive linemen who are trying to take him out of the play. What a critical piece to add to that offensive or that defensive line and solidify that group as they prepare. Luc had said that he's coming out Riders are number one in the West. I don't disagree with him. I don't think that defense going to be outstanding. And I think if we can get all the offensive pieces together, you got to remember, we were good on offense with an offensive line that wasn't the same 2 games in a row for most of the year. Like, that's phenomenal that group can play like that. Because the offensive line, more than any other part of the offense, has to be on the same page, know what everybody's doing. And they did it, and they were great. So looking forward to that.
They are miles ahead of where they were last year.
Oh, light years.
Like, you have to think about that. Hey, and we respect, like, I think it was Dion earlier who texted in. There's been a couple others were thinking that Luc was off his rocker. But where this team is in February 2025, February
over January 31st, 2024. Yeah.
There was a lot of hype last year, like when Mace, the press conference, and everyone was hyped about Mace. We still didn't know what we had.
No, it was still a new thing to us, right?
Yeah. How good was this team? Who are some of these guys? What's going on? But we're like, and the receiving core. A lot of people we wanted Eugene Lewis. We need Eugene Lewis. We need a Kenny Lawler. Do we?
No, we don't. There's a great receiving core there, both Canadians and Americans, and some depth. We've lost one guy in Stearns who's gone to Winnipeg, but Luc said it best. Keyshawn Johnson is going to be one of those guys that they can count on. But you think Emelis, Schaefer Baker, Sean Baines Jr., Keyshawn Johnson, like that's 4 guys to
Samuel Emelis.
Yeah, you got to watch those 4 all the time. You can't take one of those off.
Del Duncan Busby.
Yeah. Joe might come back yet. Depends how things work out in Denver.
Tommy Nealed.
Yes, Tommy Nealed.
Grey Cup.
And you think about even Mitch Picton when they needed a catch. They needed a catch. No matter what, we need this ball caught. Who'd they throw it to?
And how is young rookie receiver Deshaun Mims
going to fit in?
How's he going to be for the there's a lot of good things going on. And then those are good problems to have.
What's our boy?
Colson called. Oh yeah, Wayne Ruby Jr. coming up from the OAC. For all of you not keeping track at home, the Ohio Athletic Conference. There's the video right there of our boy.
Ruby Jr.
Wayne Ruby Tuesday Jr. We love him. Look at him.
Do we play Goodbye Ruby Tuesday whenever he scores? Is that what we're going to do?
We have to.
Yeah.
He's my Joe from last year. This guy right here.
What's the speed?
Hope he makes the team.
Yeah, I love the speed. Yeah, love the speed.
What was his? You want his 40? I don't know if I have that kind of information here. Yeah, but you know what? The conference isn't big. We kind of coming out of the middle of nowhere.
He gave that guy the Linda Ronstadt. Blew by you. Write that down at home, kids.
I love it. No, but it's exciting times. And then the other thing. So I think next week. No, it's the week after. But I talked to Rob Vanstone, and I'm like, hey, so there's a lot of guys that have signed.
Yeah,
but have they really signed? And I'm like, do you remember anybody committing, them going out and then not signing? Like, so let's for instance, let's say Jarrett Stern.
Okay.
Or anybody that really is, it's not official yet until the 11th. Going back where, hey, maybe a couple buddies.
Do you have one of these?
Maybe a couple of buddies.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I think he said Vanstone.
Where are you going? I'm trying to remember somebody in my head that said they were going somewhere and didn't.
1999.
Oh, good God.
A lot of brain cells ago.
Yeah.
And it was Terry Vaughn.
Said he was coming here and didn't?
Yep.
That rings a bell. Yeah.
He's so good.
But he was like...
Vanstone's got all like the...
But how old was Vaughn then? Wasn't he in his 30s or late 30s already then?
Come, now you're asking a question. You expect me to know that? I don't know.
You brought
30,
it up.
30-ish?
30-ish?
30-ish.
I thought maybe he lost a step.
Well, that's the... When do guys lose a step? You never know.
Well, a receiver, it's different than other
positions. That's why it's like, we need Eugene Lewis or Gino. I call him Eugene because his mama called him Eugene. Or Kenny Lawler. Well, maybe he loses a step.
Yeah. And the other
maybe you're Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, the The other thing I would say, if we're getting one of those guys, we don't have one of the four we have, right? If you told me we didn't have Schaefer Baker and MLS and Keyshawn Johnson and Sean Bates Jr., I go, yeah, we need a receiver. We got four receivers that are hard to deal with.
Tommy Neild.
We haven't even talked about him, right? But that's a
starting the security blanket of Mitch Picton too.
We've already mentioned Mitch Picton. I appreciate that feedback again.
Clutch.
Yeah.
You got to get
Terry
some sort
Vaughn.
of transmission shop to sponsor Mitch Picton.
Terry Vaughn would have been 28 in 99, 28 or 29, and he was going from Calgary to Edmonton. So guess he agreed to come to us and then decided, nope, going to Edmonton, and he played till 2006.
You know who's never asleep at the wheel?
Coulson. No, never. He also does have access to a computer that doesn't.
He still hasn't told you where Wenatchee is, though. And it's,
no, I just need some general direction.
An hour and 37 minutes in. You're still lost. If Sharky had to go to Wenatchee, I have no idea which way he's going.
Would I start in Spokane?
Do you have the map ready, Curtis? Oh, look, there it is. I've had it ready this whole time. Just been waiting for you to bring it back up.
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of everything.
It's in the middle of Seattle. It's about 2.5 hours from Seattle. Sorry, in the middle of Washington. 2.5 hours from Seattle, about 16 hours straight from Regina.
Okay.
So it's kind of to Spokane and Seattle. I guess Tri-Cities would be the geographical rival.
So take a left at Kelowna, go down. Okay, got it.
Yeah, especially with the dollar. Try and stay in Canada
as long
as you can now. Back a few years ago, you'd want to maybe head down to Shaunavon Climax and there.
Cut across and go. Not anymore.
Grab a tin and let her buck, but no, not anymore. We're still hoping for Regina Pats later this hour, John Babcock to join us. Exciting news from him this week. We'll take a quick break. It is the Sports Cage. Thank you to everybody watching the stream. I don't know if the like buttons are getting up today. The boys love when everyone hammers that like button at the stream at sports.
Like the Pats jersey. Like the third.
sportscage.com.
I have found the auction link.
Live at the Brandt Centre. If you're just tuning in and going, what does that mean? We are here for the Regina Pats and Wenatchee Wild tonight, 7 p.m. Indigenous celebration night. They're auctioning off, if you're watching the stream, these sweet jerseys, the star blanket themed Regina Pats jersey for tonight, and they are auctioning them off. That's what Sharky was talking about. What is the link? Give the people the info.
The link is www.32auctions.com. So when I say 32, that's the numbers 32auctions.com. You can go on, register an account, and start bidding on any jersey you like. I will warn you, the Connor Bear jersey is the most coveted right now. It's over $1,000. Colton Bridgman's second at about $500. Still lots in the $250 range, but they're all there. Pick your guy and get your favorite. Oh, Reese Hamilton's up to $5.25 now. Look at this. At 2.5, and somebody
just gonna say start
and here we go. Yeah.
You're good at that.
Thanks, brother.
You're good at that. That's it's a great event. If you want to go to something to eat earlier before the game, if you're like Sharky, maybe like a chicken wing.
Ooh, love a chicken wing. Before the game,
it's Flavored Fridays at the Canadian Brew House. Prime rib, mashed potatoes, au jus, seasoned vegetables. Why did I do this, Reed?
I don't know.
$25.99, or you can get the 8-ounce for $20.99. Also, tankards are on sale. Flavored vodka drinks are on sale. Happy hour 4 to 7. 2 locations in Regina, 1 in Moose Jaw, the Canadian Brew House.
As you're reading that, I just felt my stomach like fall out. It just emptied. It just went, fill this with that.
Sucking up to your spine.
Oh,
Western Hockey League action here, 7 p.m. Pats host Wenatchee. Also, the Blades are in Brandon. PA's in Lethbridge. Swift Currents in Medicine Hat. Moose Jaws in Red Deer. Another interesting one in Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary. Go at it. SJHL for Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Southie Saskatchewan. Estevan, the long trek to Flin Flon. Weyburn's at Larange. Humboldt's in Kindo. It's also known as Kindersley. Nipawin's at Melfort. AAA, Moose Jaw Swift Current tonight, only 4 points. Separate those two teams in the U18 male AAA loop. Trouble in Blazer country in Saskatoon. Don't know what's going on there. As for the Patsies, back at home tomorrow against PA. 1:30 puck drop at the Sixer. Female Rebels 5-3 over Notre Dame last night. We could have gave the clutch performer for Nick's service in Emerald Park to Cedar Swan from the U18 Rebels.
That's a great handle. Cedar Swan.
It is. Great name.
Yeah.
3 goals last night for the Rebels.
Congratulations, Cedar.
In that 5-3 win over Notre Dame. Anna Benoit, shout out there. 1 goal, 1 assist, making Dad Renee happy.
Friend of ours.
He's trying to level some land in his backyard lately. He's got bought a hot tub. It's not level. It's like, it was February, tough time.
You're a finance guy. It's not what
Tough
you do.
time to do it.
Pay for somebody. Yeah.
Morgan Robertson had the win for the female Rebels last night. Prairie Junior Hockey League. Last night it was the Storm 4-1 over the Caps. Peyton Koschuk and Tristan Gross, 1-1 each there. Locally, Fort Knox hosting the Quakers tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Senior hockey. We got the senior hockey report coming up after 5 o'clock. It is...
That might take a half hour all on itself. Man, there's a lot going on this weekend.
Last night in Watrous, Brandon Von Hagen scores at 16:29 of double overtime. Watrous advances over Leroy, winning 2 straight. Tonight, provincial action in Lumsden. The Beach Boys hosting Wadena. That'll be why we call them the Beach Boys. You got to listen to the Monday Nooner to figure that out. Also, Drakes and Lorburn, Estons and Unity. Some Nautic Hockey League playoffs.
The NHL.
Avonlea's and Radville, La Flèches and Mossbank. Tomorrow, we mentioned Balcarres hosting Round Lake and Fort.
In the Fort.
But the other one is, and if I could drive there within 20 minutes, I'd be going to Kenora.
Oh, that's the big one. Cardiff.
Game 2.
The Red Devils are in Kenora.
Game 2.
So what happened in game 1? What do we got?
They play Who Stole the Kishka in warm-ups. They don't, but they should. Great tune.
Metro Presta. The Metro album is being played. Yeah, for warm-ups.
8 p.m. tomorrow in Kenora is that one. So that is your local hockey rundown. You only get it here on the Sports Cage. Okay. Sunday. There's a lot of provincial games booked for Sunday. And I remember...
Well, they're going to be afternooners.
Matt Miller and I, we had a do-or-die game in Mydale. I'm wearing my Patriots hoodie. It was the year they lost to the first time, the stupid helmet catch, to the Giants. So him and I, we got to drive to Mydale to play this
hour 30
provincial game 3. We lose. So we're coming back. I taped the game, and I said, "Well, we'll go to my place." We're trying not to
that would have been before social media, wouldn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Facebook was around. We were probably running Blackberries. So we go to a restaurant just to pick up some food in Weyburn, and I'm wearing something Patriots, and the guy is like, oh, did you see the end of that game? We were like, don't say anything.
Because that was the undefeated season, was it not?
Yes, it was. So then we came back. We went to my basement, crushed a few pints, watched it, still
cried.
But we'll talk Super Bowl. Farhan Lalji is in New Orleans. He's going to join us at the start of the 5 o'clock hour. So we'll get all the rundown there. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Regina Pats 20-year-old elder statesman John Babcock is going to join us. Oh, we don't have a break.
We don't have a break.
We got to bring him in.
All right.
Okay.
Come on, Babs. You're in here.
How that
Slide
works.
in here. Let's move over. Let's get Babs in there. Get a headset on.
It's what are you downstairs getting warmed up? Were you doing some kind of
soccer?
Bike?
Yeah. What are we doing?
What's it called?
A little warm-up activation, you could call it. But no, I was just got there, started drinking my coffee and taped my sticks.
These are the older guys in the team, eh?
Yeah.
Had my coffee, taped my sticks. What's it been like being in Regina here as a 20?
It's been great. A little bit different with all the movement we've had and whatnot. I'm sure you guys have talked about that at length, but no, it's been good. Coaching staff has been great, and I'm just being here for the younger guys.
Let's talk about this uni, because I've been wearing this for most of the show. I'm loving these.
I think they look sick.
Aren't they fantastic?
Yeah.
I think last time I looked, yours was at $375
already.
Yeah. Cool. So there's people bidding on you, baby. So don't get any blood on it tonight or anything, right? Keep it clean.
Some of that North Vancouver money.
Yeah.
Coming this way to Sasky, eh?
Maybe. Who knows? That's big money being thrown around right now.
That's right. Well, Bears is over a grand.
Is it?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
There's a bidding war going on.
Yeah, on Connors.
That's going to be a pricey one.
Yeah, that's a nice jersey. We talked about with Connor when he was on earlier, and he came from Calgary. You guys go do that swing. I'm calling it the triangle of death, right? You got Calgary, Medicine Hat, Lethbridge. As a 20, a guy that went through the grind last year with Saskatoon that I want to get to. What's it like going into those games with such a young squad?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Like being on that team last year, Saskatoon, you expect every team's best game. So being kind of an underdog, you can go in there knowing you can kind of catch them off guard. So that's kind of been our message, and we have nothing to lose. So go in there, play our game, and see what happens, right?
And you guys gave Lethbridge a heck of a game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Is that like a build some confidence in these young guys a game like that?
I can't speak on behalf of the boys. I was out for a little bit there, but yeah, the boys played well, and it was a close game. We gave them a run for their money, and hopefully we can get them next week here.
Saskatoon last year, what was that run like?
It was unreal. Like, I've had a lot of people talk to me and whatnot, ask me that question. It's surreal to be thrown in where I have people ask me that, like, it's the best WHL series that's ever going to be thrown down or whatever, right? So yeah, like, you go game 7, 6 out of 7 games going to overtime. There's a lot of nerves on the table, but yeah, just go out and play.
So you've got a unique opportunity ahead of you now. You've committed to NCAA Div 1. Now, what's the name of the school again?
Robert Morris.
Robert Morris. When you came here, obviously, at the start of the year, that wasn't in the mix. That wasn't part of the plan. How did you feel when that became an opportunity for you?
Yeah, seeing Whitey go through it definitely changed my outlook on it, you could say. And yeah, seeing having that couple conversations with schools and whatnot, I wasn't really too keen on it until Robert Morris started talking to me about it. And yeah, they gave me a pretty sweet offer, and they got a pretty young team right now, but in a year or two we're going to be quite the team.
So because that's so new to the Western Hockey League guys, we never had that opportunity. Didn't exist prior to this year. What's the conversations like in the room or around the league? Are there guys talking about it now, whereas before it was never a part, or are you guys just all surprised now at what's coming to you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just staying loyal to your team. Everyone, we can talk about it freely now, but at the start of everything, it was like, are you going to go and stuff like that, right? But I think it's a great opportunity, and like I said earlier, like, you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get to play in the best junior league in the world, and then now go see what down south is like.
Good for you.
What's Robert Morris University all about?
Yeah, they're 20 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. They're 12 minutes from the airport. They got a pretty good hockey team right now, and like I said, they're pretty young, but this team will be good.
For yourself, like, were you scholastically, a few years ago, because you've been out of school, right? Like, that is that transition going to be tough? Were you a school guy? Like you mentioned, you kind of wasn't a thing that you were thinking about, but now, like, clearinghouse, you got, I don't know, SAT, like all that stuff.
Yeah, I thought you don't have to do the SAT anymore, which is huge.
No offense.
No, but I take pride in my schoolwork. I had pretty good grades in high school, but I've been taking 2 university classes. I just finished microeconomics at the start of this year, kind of keep the brain a little bit fresh, and then right now I'm taking Com 100.
Good for you.
Do you think for the younger guys right now with how things are, and Sharky mentioned it, right, where Braxton came out, kind of shocked everybody, but people knew it was coming. Do you think these younger guys now will take school a little more serious?
I think so. I think it could be a determining a factor that could be you making a team or not making a team, right? So yeah, we've had chats about that side of the things. I mean, there's so many so many layers to it, and it's still all so green to everyone. So I don't know. I think just having no excuses why you can't make a team, and schoolwork being one of them, is huge.
It's interesting you say that, because in the past, the Western Hockey League, although they've encouraged the schoolwork and there's a scholastic award, for a lot of players, their goal was beyond that, and they maybe didn't focus on that. And it might change some of the way they look at some of the way they're showing up to the rink every day.
For sure. Or you get some young guys that think they're still going to the show. So I love it. I respect it.
Yeah.
But then you always ought to have plan B.
You do every day.
Has the league changed at all? Because it probably seems like yesterday that you were a sick young guy in the league, right? And now you're kind of on your way out.
The twilight of your Western League career. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone always says like, oh, when you're 20, like when I was 16, 17, like, oh, enjoy it, Babs, like it's gonna go by fast, right? And like, you're like, oh yeah, like got so many games left, right? But then it was so surreal this year when it's like, holy smokes, this is my last season, and now it's like, oh wow, I have 20 games left in my Dub career.
Yeah, that's got to be alarming to look at the no doubt.
So you played, you started in Kelowna, and then, like we talked about last year with the Blades, now you're with the Pats. Be real with us here. What's the best road trip? Is it in Kelowna, going somewhere quick like the Kamloops, or where's the best roadie? Where's the best barn to play in?
Oh, that's a good question. Personally, I like playing against my former teams. Like playing Kelowna this year was a lot of fun. Playing Saskatoon tomorrow, I'm looking forward to that one. But I don't know. I always thought Everett had one of the coolest junior barns, and then playing in obviously the two NHL rinks, Calgary and Edmonton is always a hoot.
I'll bet it is.
What makes Everett so cool?
I don't know. It's just like a perfect junior barn. The fans are crazy, and
just the right size, right?
Cowbells and didn't they get rid of that though this year?
With the cowbells or what?
I think I saw something like that.
Well, in the States, there's different rules.
Yeah,
they sell beer in like a popcorn box. Like, how did they get rid of the cowbells?
Oh, that's good. Because I've always said that when teams from out here, who was it just doing it? Oh, Swift Current. It's like they started in Victoria,
right,
and then they went Vancouver, and then it's like
working their way back.
George, right. Like there's some greasy trips to go out that way
for sure. But I mean, going on a ferry and stuff like that. Like this year, we had a couple guys that never like. It's a little different for me being from Vancouver. It's like, oh, like you're on a ferry, but for these guys, it's kind of eye opening for them, right?
When you were in North Vancouver Hawk, right? You're a younger guy. Did you ever come out and play in Saskey? When's your first time coming out to Saskey when it's been cold?
Yeah, we came out. I can't remember when it was, but we had that tournament in Bantam. Bedard was on my team, and a couple of buddies that play NCAA now
in Regina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We came and played at Cooperators.
Yeah,
so,
and been the big one.
Was the roof leaking?
No, not
it's too cold.
Yeah, it is now. So,
is it?
So Bedard, you and Bedard, that was Bantam.
Yeah.
What was he like back then?
Nah, he's always been a stud. Like he's so good. He's dominated at every level, so it doesn't surprise me that he's doing well up there.
Was he thinking the game? Like we watched Maddox Schultz with the Pats C's now as a 14. Like and you can tell his hockey IQ is like that kid's only 14 years old. Was Bedard like that too?
Yeah, just his details in his game were so locked in, and then obviously his shot was just ridiculous even back then. So,
and he'd have been what, 12 or 13 when you were playing in a Bantam tournament?
Yeah, pretty much.
How'd you guys do in that tourney? It's the Graham Tour.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I think we did all right. I think we lost to Martinsville. They had
Marauders. Good team. Bad jerseys.
They had Height and Jagger, I remember.
Yeah,
that team.
Did you ever hear the story about the Saskatoon Contacts team? It must have been the next year, the COVID year. Who they had? They had Height, Jagger, Catton, Chadwick, Price, all on and they only played like a number.
Oh, that's
games.
right. Yeah.
How sick was that AAA?
Could you imagine? That team would have done wow.
Yeah, they had a chance to win it all instead. They got to stay home with the flu.
So tonight, Wenatchee's here. It's the Indigenous celebration night. Sharkies, if you're watching the stream, wearing the jersey. What was Babcock's at?
I think about 500.
Yeah. Some of that North
keeps going up.
Well, we'll double check it. We'll go back and we'll double check.
That's we're gonna get that North Vancouver money going after it. As I said, thanks so much for making some time to
come.
You know what?
Of course,
your coffee. What are you weighing in at these days?
206. I just weighed in. So
thick.
Good luck next year.
Thank you. I appreciate
Congratulations.
it.
That's a great opportunity.
Become a Pens fan?
Yeah, I think I got to. Yeah.
I
wasn't really a big fan of the Nucks anyway. So
turmoil this year.
Yeah.
I think they traded the wrong guy.
What do you mean, Miller?
Yeah.
No comment.
I don't know much.
No inside scoop.
No.
John Babcock from the Regina Pats joining us 7 p.m. at Puck Drop here tonight. Quick break. We're up against news. Farhan Lalji going to join us after the break. It is the SportsCage, streaming at sportscage.com. Last hour of the show, Farhan Lalji from the Super Bowl in moments. Senior hockey report. And then if you missed Luc Mullinder earlier, Luke went off and a big prediction in the back half of this hour on Friday for Nelson Holmes. Western Pizza, perfect pizza. Here you go. Make you hungry.
Yeah.
Souvlaki, Greek salad, the ribs, all the goodness you just can't make at home.
Sounds so good.
Western Pizza Hotline. He is in New Orleans at the Super Bowl from TSN. Farhan Lalji is joining us. You're watching the stream. That's a sweet wall behind you, eh? Are you at a tavern of some sort?
No, I'm just in our conference room, and we've been doing hits here all day. Today we spent, between myself, Carol Wagland, Dave Naylor, we probably did 20 hits with different affiliates around the country. So we have this conference room, and they've just set this up for us. So nice. I could have been out on Canal Street, but there would have been all sorts of distractions, my friend. You wouldn't want that. I should have worn my beads, though. I apologize.
How are the beignets? Have you had a few? Have you wandered down there? You picked a couple up?
I've had a couple. In fact, when we were at the media party, they had burger beignets. So like 2 beignets and with burger little slider deal in the middle. That was a good beignet.
Oh, now we had this talk earlier about food, and Barney was anti-gator, crawfish, right? Gumbo.
I'm the same.
Really?
Yeah. Well, look, I'll do gumbo, and I love jambalaya, but I'm limited on the different types of fish I eat, right? So we actually went to this place, and David Sanchez was with us and had some crawfish, and it was like he had to break the whole thing, and it got all gritty, and he's like, I'm not feeling this, so he changed the order. But I like shrimp.
I would be. I love it. We have a little internet problems. I would be going to Subway. Jersey Mike's.
Dude,
Subway,
listen, let me
like
tell you
that.
something. This is not a place where you can get a lot of healthy options. There was a 25-person lineup outside of Popeye's Louisiana Chicken before it opened the other day. And you can go into a Foot Locker here, my friend, and find a 5X shirt. No problem. Right? That's how it rolls here.
Hot tip. There it is. That's
you need the 5X.
That's the strip.
You need a 5X. Come to Nolans.
Let's go Super Bowl to end it. Let's start with the CFL. Okay. Has there been in this week and what we're hearing with guys, signing players? Is there one that jumps out at you that caught you by surprise?
Well, not necessarily one name, but certainly the volume, right? I mean, there were a couple of the people that came over from Toronto to Edmonton that I thought might not necessarily make a move, whether it be Mechie. I had a sense they were going to go big after Jake Serezna, and with Demetrius Maxey being in Edmonton, I knew there was going to be a real possibility that happened. But I think the overall volume of players the Elks decided to go after and got them, that was surprising to me. The moves to Hamilton, from a player like Kenny Lawler, that was a bit of a shock. I was surprised that Calgary didn't land Gino Lewis, right? I really thought that would happen. My understanding is he actually took less money to go to Ottawa just for other personal reasons. But yeah, more volume that Edmonton wound up adding, and I saw this in 2019 when Ed Hervey was in his first year as the Lions GM, where he spent a lot of money on day one. But so much of it was on Mike Riley, and he spent it. I think he spent it much better this time around. You get 5 new Canadian starters, arguably. That's pretty impressive in terms of a roster makeover and adding depth. And and then just to rebuild your entire defensive line like that, I thought was pretty impressive too.
What the salary cap going up and announcing it this week at a weird time. Any insight? You got any inside baseball on what happened there? Yeah,
so the two sides, when they went through the last CBA and they talked about when the escalators would kick in and what that had to look like, and no one really was expecting it to happen this year. And then you have a December 31st year end, and they had to get the reported information to them by January 15th. So then, you go back and you get different information, and then you give it to the Players Association and say, hey, we have $18 million. This has kicked in an increase here in revenue. How do you want to spend it? And the reason I say that is because in the CBA, there were some options, some buckets that they could have put it in. They could have simply put it on the salary cap, which at this point it looks like may happen. That's what they put out in the release. But you could put it in training camp stipends. You could put it in pension contributions. You could put it in postseason benefits. And from the PA standpoint, I think they wanted to put it everywhere and some things that hadn't been discussed. So the league said, no, you can't do that, right? Like, we only discussed this. So then the PA said, fine, we'll put it in a salary cap, which really isn't the best thing for the players because it touches the fewest people, right? So the timing of it was certainly off. I don't think that was the league's fault, right? I think the PA, they had 5 days to deal with it. They took all 5 days, and then they put out their press release. They could have done it earlier, but hard to blame them as well. I think they're going to go back and change the dates on it and change what the year ends look like, but I truly don't believe it was contrived. There's some people that say, the league did this on purpose so that the teams wouldn't spend the money, and that's just not what happened, right? So it was awkward timing for sure, but the first time they've had to deal with this with extra revenue.
I got a question now as we go on that sort of the front office stuff. Any news on the commissioner, where that plan is? Any names? Anything? I mean, what I've heard is not cool,
Sharky,
but
this is crazy slow. Sharky, this is crazy slow. To the point where I'm not sure they've completely nailed down their process for whether or not they need a search firm, what the final priorities of criteria are, or whether they're just going to handle it from a board perspective. Like, it's not even near the point where they're doing interviews. Like, they're not close to that yet. So it's taken a lot longer than it needs to. And quite frankly, it wouldn't shock me. Like, I've heard some different things too, but from the most important people, it wouldn't shock me if the season kicked off and Randy Ambrosie was still the commissioner.
I have actually heard there's two different camps within the Board of Governors and that group. That one wants somebody they can completely control and to do what they want to do, and somebody wants the other group wants somebody that's going to go out and elevate and do something on their own, and that's part of the problem.
Puppet cowboy.
That's right. We've got that.
I think all of them want both. I think all of them want somebody who's equipped to drive revenue, because that was the single biggest concern they had with what was going on with Randy Ambrosie. Now all of a sudden we see $18 million in revenue, but costs were also escalating, right? And sometimes, look, I'm a person that believes you got to spend money to make money. Lord knows my wife feels that way, but you weren't playing that, right? Good thing she doesn't listen. So, he just showed that he was able to bring a lot in. They've also been spending a lot. So I think they want someone who's equipped to bring in additional revenue without necessarily spending a ton. And I think they want a level of control. I've always said this is a very difficult board to work for because it's only 9, right? Like, as powerful as Jerry Jones is, Jerry Jones does not have the influence that a Scott Mitchell or a Wade Miller has, right? Like, those guys carry much more weight. You can form an alliance with 2 and carry a lot of weight, right? Like, it's just like that. So it's a tough group, and they do want a level of control. There's no doubt.
Yep. Okay, we can talk a lot of CFL next week with everything that's going to go down. There's only one Super Bowl this year, and it's coming Sunday.
Hey, and I'm glad Saskatchewan got Micah Johnson back in. I thought that was important. With him and Mike Rose, that was great. And Tavon Campbell is going to be the sneaky signing of the year. That was impressive for them to get that done and not even have to dip into regular free agency for it.
And the passport is nice looking for him as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on the Eagles, mostly because I despise. What are they going to do?
Because the Eagles were green. They're green. I get it.
Yeah. What are they going to do to shut down KC? Are they going to be? They're probably going to shut down Saquon. So what's going to happen here?
Well, look, in order for Philadelphia to win this game, they have to take a page out of Tampa Bay's playbook in 2020. They have to be able to get to Patrick Mahomes inside of 2 seconds. They've got to get him off his spot and move him. If you give him 2.5 seconds, he gets through his first progression and he sets up how he's going to escape. He can see the escape lanes and set himself up. If you take 2.5, he's going to beat you. If you can get there fast, like happened in 2020, there's going to be problems for Kansas City, right? They can't just lean on their run game. The other thing with Philadelphia is they're the best screen defending team in the league, and we know how Kansas City and Andy Reid love their screen game to get the ball out quick because those guys tackle so well. So they have to get to them immediately, and they have the ability to do that. But if they don't, Kansas City's going to win this game. And, for me, I think Steve Spagnuolo is going to be able to find a way to ensure that Saquon works for his yardage. You're not going to see the big 60-yard touchdown run. He may get 100, but it's going to take over 20 carries. But the big issue, the only mismatch on the field is Eagles D-line, Kansas City offensive tackles. That's the only mismatch. The other mismatch in this game is Kansas City's coaching staff, right? So, if it comes down to the fourth quarter of a close game, Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are going to win. Full stop. But if they can prevent it from being close with what that defensive line does, different story.
That's the prediction we've heard from everybody is if Philadelphia is not up by 14 or 21 early, they can't catch them. They can't run them down from behind.
Well, you know why that's so hard? There's no team that has fewer possessions in a game than Kansas City. There was a time when teams would slow the game down because they didn't want the Chiefs to be explosive. The Chiefs now slow games down and just wait until the fourth quarter and then do their thing. So it's hard to run away from these guys.
Like the greatest show on turf. It's like, just don't let them have the ball.
Yeah.
Just keep it slow. So how much will we see, you talked about it, the coaching mismatch here?
I think you're going to see it, right? And look, I'm not a person who doesn't think Nick Sirianni is a good coach. He is. And it's like any aggressive coach, whether you're Sirianni, Quinn, Campbell, if you go for it a few times and you don't get it, even though that's your DNA and that's what's led you to your success, you're going to get criticized, right? And how much you're going to make Jalen Hurts throw the football, right? Earlier in the year, right, he was averaging 33, the first 4 games, he was averaging 33 passes a game. Like, they have to find a way to let Saquon win this game for them, right? And, so I think you will see both teams I think both teams are going to try to a point to control the game and take the air out of the ball, right? So, but like I said, I just think when you give Andy Reid 2 weeks to prepare and when you give Steve Spagnuolo 2 weeks to prepare, they are the best at what they do. That is the best offensive coordinator and the best defensive coordinator in football.
That's what scares me a bit in it. But you coach football. Like, let's say we're both coaching we're coaching this game here, Farhan. If we're on the Eagles, we probably say, you know what? They're going to take away Barkley. So let's let him have that. Now, Jalen, are you going to run? Are you going to throw? That's what I'm thinking in my, he's got is he going to be the Super Bowl MVP? Because he's going to have to do it, I think.
Well, and listen, Jalen can. You go back 2 years, he carried that team. 300 passing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. He had 70 yards rushing on 15 carries. The other 3 Eagles running backs combined for 45 yards, right? He is capable. I have a lot of time for Jalen Hurts. So if he's got to throw it, he can. Now, he's limited in terms of where he likes to throw the football, in my opinion. There's certain throws that he's just not effective making. But you want to push the ball down the field to A.J. Brown, he can. You want to find Dallas Goedert over the middle, within certain ranges, he can. And he can pull the ball and run. And I think that's when their running game is the most effective. And I think he's going to need to do that early in the game. Pull the ball and get to the edge so that the backside of that defense can't squeeze down on Barkley the entire time.
So there's no mismatch, let's say Goddard, or there's no mismatch that you can see Eagles receivers secondary of Kansas City or vice versa?
No, I don't think so. I think that Trent McDuffie is the best DB playing in this game, right? So you can match him up against A.J. Brown, and I'll take my chances there. And they got Watson back last week, right? So they're healthier there. I think their safeties are fine. I mean, Dallas Goedert's an effective player, but he's not Travis Kelce. He's not elite tight end. So I don't think there's mismatches there. And on the other side, I mean, Kansas City is the first team, they were the only team to get into the playoffs with no 1,000-yard receivers and no 1,000-yard rushers. But they do have some players that could go off at any moment, right? Hopkins could go off. Kelce could go off. Xavier Worthy could go off, right? So they have pieces there, but we just haven't seen it all year. So Philadelphia's got some real youth at corner, but man, those guys are good. There are some suggestions that maybe you can beat this team at safety, right? That maybe Philadelphia's got some weak spots at safety, but I don't know. I think they're pretty good back there, and they're deep.
That's a pretty thin margin to pick from if you're going after one guy, a safety or 2 safeties. That's not much of a hole.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, Cook is an average cover guy. There probably are. Each team has maybe one average cover safety. But, these teams don't go 4 across with elite receivers at every spot, right? No. I don't know that plays itself. I don't know that is what takes this game over.
Okay, in closing, I want to ask you, if a guy was going to sprinkle, a guy that I know,
which I just did.
What's a good prop bet that you like for this one?
Oh, boy. I don't have the props in front of me, but I would probably say Jalen Hurts to score the first touchdown. Like he did in the last game, and you get down into the goal line, and you're going to get the tush push, right? So I think that's reasonable. I think that's probably the first one. And what was it? I saw the rushing yards on Jalen Hurts at 36.5. I think he's going over. And overall, because of the lack of possessions, I think the game hits the under.
Oh, under 48.5.
Ooh.
Take the under. All right. Well,
all right. Okay.
Enjoy yourself there, Farhan. Next week's a busy week. When do you get back? When do you land back in Canada?
I get home Monday, 7 a.m. flight out of here after the game.
Oh, I'm sure the airport will be awesome.
Easy to get out. Easy piece of cake.
Have fun. All right. Thanks, Farhan.
I'll be at a 4 o'clock airport for sure. 4 a.m. airport call.
Have a good one.
Enjoy.
See you, boys.
TSN's Farhan Lalji. I got to take some of these prop bets. Trying to write them all down. I don't know about the under though. I don't want to touch that one. We got senior hockey reports. Speaking of bets, you can place them at CoolBet. We'll run down some of those. Senior,
you want me to look those up? I got that open right
after
now.
The break. It is the Sports Cage streaming live from the Brandt Centre. Pats game night against Wenatchee, 7 p.m. on 620 CKRM. The Senior Hockey Report is brought to you by our friends at Future Ford in Melville. New units arriving daily and premium used vehicles to fit any budget and lifestyle. The future is Future Ford. You can see them at futureford.ca. And have you ever wanted to gamble on senior hockey? You can. CoolBet.com is where it's at. They got Big Six. They got Long Lake. They're adding leagues. Go on there. You can bet on senior hockey. It's unbelievable. CoolBet.com, sponsors of the Senior Hockey Report. It was big last night in Watrous, double overtime. Brandon Von Hagen, 6:29 at double OT, scores as Watrous upsets Leroy in the Long Lake
the Braves
round series. Yeah, the Winterhawks advance there. It is provincial season in senior. And tonight we got one close to Regina in Lumsden. They open up their provincial A series against Wadena. Boy, bringing some Boston creams in to Lumsden tonight. 8 p.m. puck drop there. You're on CoolBet right now. You can wager on that one.
Yeah, Lumsden's minus 455 on that. Yeah, a little bit of a favorite in there.
Heavy favorite there tonight. Also provincial action. Drakes and Lorburn, Estons and Unity. Not a Q Hockey League playoffs to Avonlea, Radville, Laflèche, Mossbank, Hodgeville, Assiniboia, Yellowgrass, Cornack. Now tomorrow, Round Lake, Belcaris.
In the fort, though. In the fort.
8 p.m. puck drop. That is a big one.
The Bronx. Yeah.
Place is going to be packed
to the roof.
Gubba's got, I can't remember what pre-sold sell tickets were at. Benny Walchuk's going to be announcing. He's just doing the public address, not play-by-play. Public address announcing.
Okay.
From such great programs as the Sports Cage on Tuesdays, Benny Walchuk. So that one's 8 p.m. tomorrow. Then the other big one, Game 2 in Kenora.
Cardiff Red Devils.
Cardiff on the brink.
Driving 4 hours.
Kenora, a chance to upset and move on there. It's a great time of the year. Eh?
It's my favorite. Senior hockey playoffs are the best. Yeah, absolutely the best.
Kenaston also hosting Lorburn in game 1 of their playoffs in the Sask Valley tonight. A massive shakeup when it came to the top 10 on the Monday Nooner.
Oh, really?
This week.
Foam Lake Flyers, not first?
Foam Lake slid, right? Like they had a tough stretch down the end. So it's Redvers, number 1.
Redvers.
Followed by
Raymore.
The Rockettes.
Rockets.
Then Foam Lake, then Rocanville. Rocanville had a heck of a season in the Sask East. Then Moosomin, who's a huge favorite.
They're minus 3,333. You bet $1, you win 3 cents.
Davidson Cyclones, number 6. Hafford Hawks, number 7. Kenora Cobras, number 8. Lumsden Monarchs, number 9. They're sneaky there. And the Lashburn Flyers. So just
Kenora used to be the Renegades. When did they change to Cobras?
And they got all those snakes up there. The garlic belt. So
I think I played for them when they were the Renegades.
Yeah. Great hockey. That is your senior hockey report. It's brought to you by Future Ford in Melville. The future is Future Ford. You can visit all their inventory, new and used, online, and Cool Bet as well if you want to sprinkle on a little senior hockey.
Get out and support your community teams, man. It's important this time of year. Fill the rinks.
We talked to Luc Mullinder at the start of the show, and he was passionate about a number of things. Prediction guy. Luc was prediction guy today. So that's how we got to play it again. People didn't catch it. So we're going to play that after the break. Luc Mullinder. Buddy, thanks so much. Great jersey. You got to give that back.
What?
You have to give that back.
No.
That is not yours. Indigenous celebration night here at the Brandt Centre tonight.
I'm keeping this.
Pats and Wenatchee, 7 p.m. puck drop. If you're coming down.
You can bid on these online.
Yeah.
Instagram. Go to Instagram, Pat's Instagram. You can find the auction site, bid on them online.
They're a nice looking jersey. So we'll talk CFL football with Luc when we come back after the break. Streaming the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.